Clarity vanishes the moment someone asks where the will is, and there isn't actually a will. Many families assume everything just passes to their nearest and dearest, but intestacy rules in England and Wales mean the law decides, not your wishes. That's why a missing will can lead to confusion, waiting, stress, all that you could have kind of prevented. A death is registered, everyone is exhausted, and then someone asks, where's the will? When there isn't one. I've seen how quickly a calm family can turn into a group of people guessing, second guessing, and worrying about doing the wrong thing. While they're trying to grieve, they also have to work out who can actually deal with their estate. What people expect is that the closest people just sort it out. The reality is the law has its own route, and it isn't based on what you meant. When someone dies without a will, they've died intestate. That means there's no written set of instructions naming executors, setting out who gets what, or naming guardians for children. The estate is dealt with under intestacy rules, and someone has to apply for legal authority to handle the money, property, and all the paperwork. Until that authority is in place, banks and organisations will typically be cautious. Families can feel stuck in limbo. The key point is simple though. The law decides the order of inheritance, not your personal preference. If you died this weekend, who could actually act? This is where the first shock often lands. Without a will, you haven't chosen your executors, so the people closest to you may not be the ones with the actual authority on your estate. Even if your partner is the person you live with, they may still have to go through a formal process to be recognised as the one who can handle things. That can create delays, tension, stress, etc. If you have children, a will is usually where guardians are named. Without that, decisions about day-to-day care can become uncertain at exactly the wrong time. One situation I see again and again is a separated couple. The wider family assumes one side will take charge, then discovers the legal position points elsewhere, and suddenly people who are getting on are now checking every decision and, at each other's necks. Here's what to notice. Knowing what you want isn't the same as having authority to do it. Could two named people explain clearly who would apply to act and who would care for the children without anyone guessing? What you should do is just write down the last time you discussed who would care for your children and use that as your prompt today. Clarity beats assumptions every time. This is why intestacy catches organised families too, because the next problem is rarely who loved them most. It's what exists, where it is, and how it's owned. The second cluster is assets and documents. Intestacy isn't just about who inherits. It's also about what exists and how it's owned. Your home can be owned in a multitude of different ways, and that affects what falls into the estate and what happens next. So it's worth checking how the property is held rather than relying on assumptions. The same goes for bank accounts, pensions, life assurance. Some things may pass by nomination or contract, others need that formal authority before anything can move. This is where a small detail causes big delays. A family can know there's a policy somewhere but not know which provider, or they know there's a savings account but not know whose name it's in. Then the search starts at the worst possible time. A common mistake is keeping everything in your head with no clear list of accounts, policies and key contacts. That forces your family to search while they're grieving. Another problem is storing important papers somewhere only you can access. It turns a practical task into a stressful hunt. When one trusted person can find the key documents quickly, they can explain what exists without rummaging through drawers. Here's a simple way to think about it. Most delays come from missing documents, unclear roles, or outdated wishes. Because when the paperwork is clear, decisions come faster and stress drops. That's the moment relief kicks in. What people expect is a smooth handover. What intestacy can create is a queue. If this all feels a bit gloomy, keep it practical. You're not tempting fate. You're just reducing guesswork for people who you love. Here's the reframe. A will isn't a document about death. It's a document about who gets to act on an ordinary Tuesday after you've gone. So do this one offline task this week. Take a sheet of paper, write down the names and contact details of the two people you'd want dealing with your estate and the person you'd want caring for your children. Add where your key documents are kept in plain English and put it somewhere safe and tell one trusted person where it is. Now ask yourself one question. If there were no will, would the people you chose actually have legal authority in England and Wales? If you're not sure, don't guess. Treat it as a prompt to get general guidance and to put proper documents in place that matches your wishes. A short note today beats a perfect plan someday. Clarity now is a kindness later.